going tropical this week, so really excited because we're supporting a farm in Hawaii called Greenpoint Nursery, and we have 2 monstera leaves in the box this week, an anthurium, which is a really nice crisp red. We have a pincushion and a few alströmerias, some lemon leaf, this is from Watsonville, and then we also have 3 snapdragons. So the trick with this arrangement really rests in balancing the greens. So with tropical arrangements, layering is really important. So based on that, my vase is like 5.5 inches. It's not very tall. But one of the things I will say with the monstera leaves is they tend to like move and wobble around. So one of the things that's quite important with them is obviously like cutting them down, but it might be that one of your leaves like tends to kind of fall in a much better position on the right side or the left side. So for instance, this one really needs to go over here because that's like the natural gradient of the leaf. So I would definitely say like absorb that, like really embrace that with the leaf that you have, because one of them will probably sit better on one side of the vase versus the other. And then what you basically want to do is hook them on top of each other. So you've got one on the right and then one kind of leaning back as a plane at the back of the vase. So with the lemon leaf, you want to cut the branches, the smaller branches off the bigger branches. Now, one thing I will suggest doing, and actually we'll do that afterwards, is let's start first, because you're gonna see that these are gonna kind of wobble around. So what we're gonna do with the lemon leaf is just hook the lemon leaf over the top of the monstera leaves, and that's gonna help us because it's basically going to like keep the monstera leaves in position. So cut the lemon leaves, like the smaller leaves from the bigger leaves, so you have like individual pieces like this. And then you kind of want to hook them over the top of the monstera leaves to keep them in place. You're gonna go like underneath the leaves too, because we kind of want to build shape now, because we've got great shape on the right, we've got great shape on the back, but we really kind of need to build shape on the opposite side. So you kind of want to go underneath the monstera leaves with the lemon leaves like that. Keep doing it. You can go as long as you want to, so obviously the longer the leaf, the wider the arrangement's going to be, and that's kind of cool because this one like lends itself well to being really wide. And then I would also suggest with the lemon leaf putting a couple of pieces behind this back leaf here, because what it's going to do is it's going to help like lift it up a bit like this. Can you see? So it'll just help to give that leaf a little bit of height. So we want to start with the focal flower first, so that's our anthurium. So I'm going to cut mine down pretty short, and you want to sit it right above the nape of the vase. So like I said at the beginning, I've got quite a, I can't even speak today. My vase is not very high, it's not very tall. So I've cut a decent amount off mine, and then you really kind of want to let it rest front and center. As the leaf, it's like this is actually a palm-shaped leaf. This is why it's called a Hawaiian flower in Hawaii. Basically, the Hawaiian flower, you just want to kind of bend it back a little bit, but it will, as it softens, kind of help to stay in position a little bit as well, as it absorbs water. So the pincushion is going to be quite short, like this. The reason being that our farmer Frank has got lots of blooms, but they're on kind of smaller branches, and he was telling me that he was just going to throw them out because they're too short to sell, because typically things need to be 80 centimeters in order for them to kind of hit the regulations in the flower industry in terms of like they get sold in a wholesale market or the flower market or anything like that. And I was like, no, please don't sell them, because we cut everything down anyway. So it's absolutely fine for it to be shorter. So cut the pincushion down, and then you want to tuck it behind the anthurium like that. So you will have a mixture of colors on the snapdragons between, we have orange blossoms, which are kind of gradient shifting ones between pink and white, and then we have full white ones, and then we have pink ones, and then we have some orange ones that are really cool too. So just anticipate that. You're not gonna have like exactly the same colors as mine, but I promise you the palette is gonna be really nice. The reason why we do that, honestly, is not because like we just decide to change the arrangement in color palette. It's just, it gives our farmers more flexibility to use what's ready to be cut, because I would much prefer them to be like, okay, we have 80 bunches of this or like 10 bunches of that, versus, and they all look amazing and they're all gonna bloom beautifully and they're all really full and they last a long time, versus us cutting stuff that's premature just to meet the quota of like a specific color. So whenever you see like a little bit of variance, like for instance, last week with the anemones, it was the same thing. That's the reason why we do that. So when you get your Alstroemerias, they're gonna be really tight. The reason being that Milano, where they're grown, the farm that grows them in Oceanside, only cut them tight. And the reason being that typically they go from the farm to a wholesaler, and then from a wholesaler to a retailer, and then from a retailer to you. So that cycle can take like anything from like 2 to 4 weeks. For us, they come from the farm straight to us. So the difference is like, they last a lot longer, honestly, but also it just means that you're gonna have to wait a few days for them to open up. So if you think they look crumpled or squished or just like green and not very good, bear with them, because they always open up and they will open and they last a really good amount of time. So don't write them off, just have faith. So basically cut them down, and then we're gonna use them to just fill in and around. You can put them anywhere you want really, just to help fill space. I do suggest removing the leaves on the stem of the Alstroemeria and just having a clean stem, because I think it looks like aesthetically a bit prettier. But yeah, just add them in wherever you want. And there we have it, tropical bloom creation. Now, a couple of things on aftercare. Remember, tropical elements like the monstera leaves and the anthurium, they absorb water from the atmosphere. So wiping the leaves with a little bit of water, just with a kitchen towel, every couple of days is great, because it just helps to keep them soft and moist and stops them drying out. For everything else, just cut the stems. You don't need to do anything with the lemon leaf, it lasts for ages, or the pincushion. So just with the snapdragons, just cut the ends of those every few days and it will last for a few weeks, I think, this one, and I hope you love it as much as I do. So there we have it.
There we have it. Happy Mother's Day!
Oh, happy Mother's Day!